Hey guys, it's Shine here, bringing you another video, and today is going to be another Photoshop tutorial. So first off, if you haven't got the Photoshop trial, which is what I'll be using for this, because some of you might not want to buy Photoshop, so I'll leave a link to the trial in the description. Go download that, and once you click onto it, we'll just wait for that to load up. By the way, who likes my new background? Basically it's just my YouTube banner, but I put it as that. Once you click on the new Photoshop, because for some reason, anyway, go to File. Alright, while it's waiting, I'll just explain what this video is. So if you've always wanted to know how to make like a good thumbnail, if you're struggling on how to make a good thumbnail, basically this is just to help you out or do struggle with thumbnails. So first off, go to File, New, and if you don't know the sizings for a thumbnail, it's the same as a video. So type in 1280 by 720 pixels, and the resolution go 200 pixels a centimeter, and just leave the rest as it is. So then you'll come up with this. That's the first thing that you get. But right now, as you see, there's a lock on the background. Just double click on this lock and that will make it so you can actually edit this background, which is what we're going to do first. So what I like to do for thumbnails is change up the colours. So first, go to gradient overlay. What are my two favourite colours? So my favourite colour is blue, followed by a nice sort of green, like a nice lime green. So in the gradient overlay, one of the colours is blue and one of them is a nice green, and that's going to be the background for now. So now you want to add text. So what's the title of your video going to be? Let's just say a couple of videos ago mine was hide and seek, or a video ago. So I'm going to go to this T over on the left hand side of the toolbar, and you just literally press it anywhere and type in hide and seek. So you can change the font, just move that around by pressing this move tool at the very top of the toolbar, and then press the T again once you've moved it, and then just highlight the text. You can change the font to whatever you want, and you can download loads of fonts. There's so many fonts you can download on the internet, but my one is Nexa, so I'm going to use that. I'll just type that in again. We'll use the bold for this one. So I want to make it a bit bigger as it is very small compared to the background, so I'm just going to highlight it all again. And I'm gonna go with like 12. 12 seems good, so I'm gonna do that. And I don't know if you saw, but this color box here is that is. So I'm gonna go with a nice grey. This E5 is a nice grey. It's not too white, not black at all, but it's a nice grey that you can use. So if we want to give it some effect, we double tap on the outside of this layer here. That's what I did to get up blending options, and we can just do loads of things to this. First off, bevel and emboss. I nearly said B-level. Bevel. So what this makes it do, it makes the text like excuse me, it makes it like, there's one like special effect you can do of half and half. And the settings, let me just get this right. The settings for that are 550 depth, 150 size, and then it sort of, you go down to altitude and you can sort of play around with this, and it splits the text into two halves of color, and it's kind of cool. And you can mess around with the color here if you want. So if I want to make it a slightly darker grey, but so it's near that color, then I can just select another color for this. But you sort of just mess around with this angle, just seeing what half and half looks good. I think, let me try 25. Nah, 25 is quite low, so I'm going to go with 18. And as you see, you've just sort of got half one color, half the original color. That's the first thing you can do to text. The next, I'm going to give it an outline. I've told you this before in the previous Photoshop tutorial. You press on stroke and you can change the color of it, whether it's inside, outside, or in the center. I think I'm going to go with outside for this one, and I'm going to change the size of it to 2 pixels because that looks okay. I'm going to add a bit of outer glow. This will just make it stand out a bit more. So I don't know what color I'm going to choose. I think I'm probably just going to choose like a white or a black. So first you want to change blend mode to normal. I don't know why it automatically goes on screen. Change opacity to around 75 to start, until we get to grips with like what we want to change it to. And then I'm going to change it to like a grey. The outer glow is going to be a grey, so I'm going to change the size. Quite like 16 looks good, so I'm going to choose that. You can have these same settings if you want, just copy them right now. So the outer glow opacity is how much you see it, 75%, the size is 16, and the range stay on 50. So that is our baseline text. I think I might make it a bit bigger to 15, or maybe 14 will do me fine. That's actually really good. So if you want like a series out of this hide and seek, and you want another font and color for what number series this is, so this is going to be episode 1, and you're just going to remember, go to that T on the toolbar, click underneath that text and type in #1. That's fine, and it's going to be quite a lot bigger than the rest of the text, so I'm going to change it to 18 or maybe 20. Yeah, 20 looks good. And if you press the move tool once the layer over here is selected and you move it around, it will snap to this pink line. That's like the dead center of across the page, just so you know when you're like when you've got it into the middle of the page. That's something that's really good with Photoshop. So we're going to add some text effect to this text as well, so double click on the end of the layer to bring up blending options. Another way actually you can get that up is right clicking on the layer, and it's at the top, blending options there. Alright, so now we're going to add some gradient overlay to this. For some reason it's got my background gradient, but I'm going to change this. So I'm going to click on the colors, and I'm going to go to the first color, and I'm just going to go straight up black, and for the second color, just a bit darker. A good grey to use is 242424 or 25, you know. So once I've done that, I can reverse it or keep it at the top, and also on style you can change how the gradient is. Oh god, didn't mean to do that. So you can change from radial, which is a circle, angle is quite weird, reflected, that is so like the colour is coming in from both ends, so that is quite good. If I change it to reflected and 0, then you can see it looks sort of rounder. I might use that. And then if you use the scale, that's how much of like the center color you see. So if I change that to like 110, yeah, I think that actually looks really good. So again, we can do the bevel and emboss. So it's basically, this one is a bit different. It depends how big the text is and the shape. So I'm just going to mess around again with the angles. It sort of gives it a bit of light as well. So 1, 0, let me see. Oh god. So it's all about like what works for you, what you like. Lucky number 7, I might go with lucky number 7. And then you can change the opacity down here. I think I'm going to change it to 16 because it sort of just gives it that like, I don't know, it just a bit of light at the top. I'm going to use that. So that's the bevel and emboss settings that you'll need. Use them, but it is good to use them. It makes it look a lot better. And then on this, we're just going to use outer glow again. Because the text is kind of black, we don't really want to use that. So you click on the square of color here, and you just, I'm going to use white straight up. So it's on normal, as I said on the hide and seek text. 75 is a good opacity, and it saves the settings from your recent outer glow, so that's a good thing that it does. But this time on the smaller text, so I'm going to change the range, which is how much you see. If you change it to 0, there's literally, that's not even glow, that's just, yeah. So if I change it up a bit more, not to 69, 77 is a good one, and then I'll just change it to 18, and that gives the number 1 a nice outer glow. So that's the text you need for your, like, you know, for your text, for your thumbnail text. So Now how are we gonna get like a picture or something? Literally just go to your Google. It opens out on all these 3 pages. I'll go to Google when it loads, images, and we'll just find something hide and seek related. I'm just doing this straight off the back, so I don't even know what pictures come up. What's this one? Alright, so we'll take this one. It is kind of weird, but if you just copy it, go on to your Photoshop page and paste it, and then once it's there, if it's too big for your workspace, the 1280 by 720, press Ctrl T and that'll select the picture, and then you just want to hold Shift when you resize this to keep it all in proportion, and you're just going to make it a bit smaller so it fits actually on your like thumbnail size. So how do you want to get rid of this white background, because you obviously don't want that there? 1, 2, 3 tools down from the move tool is this magic wand tool. If it's the quick selection tool, just go down and hold on to this tab and choose magic wand tool. So you don't really need to worry about tolerance, but if you just click on the white and press delete, it should select most of the white, but then you just need to go around the picture and sort of just select every bit of white that hasn't been deleted, because maybe the black lines weren't like overlapping, or so different pictures obviously they have different things. So I just go around selecting all the white, and I've deleted that now. So we've got this simple hide and seek picture that is very good for this thumbnail for hide and seek. So you press enter to like make sure you've moved it. Once you press Ctrl T all the time, press enter. Alright, so I'm going to move this number 1 over slightly, just around here, and I'm going to move this hide and seek picture over here as well. And if you want to rotate it, some of you might want to like change the rotation of the text. I've selected the 1 and I'm going to press Ctrl T and to select it, and if you go to the corner of like the selection box, you'll get this curved line, and if you just click and hold, you can rotate the picture like that. So I'm just going to give it like that sort of rotation, because that looks good. I think this is a good thumbnail so far. I don't know what you think. If you're doing this like step by step while I'm doing it, then I hope you like it so far. Oh god, I didn't mean to do that. Always hold Shift when you size things. So we're going to move this picture probably around there. I think that looks good. Maybe move the 1 over, just central it. Symmetrical. So to select the 1 and the image, I'm going to click on the 1, it's already selected, hold as well, and I'm going to hold on to it until it snaps to that middle pink line, which is the dead center of this workspace. So now we've got sort of the rest of our thumbnail. We just want to add a few more touches. So one thing that I've on this paintbrush tool, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 tools down, click on the paintbrush and click on this drop down box. There is so many different paintbrushes, things that you can add, and they're really good touch to like your thumbnails and channel arts and stuff. I've been doing it a lot recently, so find one you like. I'm going to choose this one here, the one that says 63, and I'm going to create a new layer for this. But before, if you click on the background, you want this paintbrush to be like this effect to be one above the background but underneath everything else. Click on the background and press Ctrl, Shift and N to create a new layer, as you see down there, layer 2. And this paintbrush, if I click one now, look how small that is compared to the size of the rest of it. So to size this up, you can click on the drop down box, and where it says size this, you just drag it right up like that. 5,000 is probably too much. Yeah, alright, so now also what you can do is click on the square brackets, the right one size it up, the left one size down. So now I've got that, I'm going to start just sort of painting all of this around the thumbnail, just sort of patching this paint effect around the thumbnail. Alright, that's finished. So that looks ugly, right? I agree, that does look ugly. One thing you can do though is you can, once you've got the layer selected with all the paint on, here it says all of these ones. A great one if you want it to be like the background is overlay, and it takes the colour from the background, and that looks pretty bad at the moment, but we've not finished yet. So soft light is also a good one. I think I'm going to go with soft light, but it still looks pretty bad. So we're going to change the opacity so we can not see it as much. I'm going to start off with 10. You can barely see it at 10, so I'm just going to experiment and keep on going up. I reckon 20 or 25. I'm going to go in the middle. 22. So you can just see the background is sort of more patchy, and it just gives it that effect. And that is one thing you can definitely do to make your thumbnails look better than they already are. So we're just going to add a few final touches to make the thumbnails be noticeable as your own. I'm going to get a rectangle tool down here near the bottom. Draw a rectangle in the corner. You guys have seen this on my recent thumbnail. If you haven't, then go and check my latest thumbnails. So you're just going to have that there. Literally click on there. Actually, before you do that, because when you draw out a shape, it's sort of, the text wants to be weird and go in the box in the shape that you've drawn. So right click on the rectangle that we've just drawn and press rasterize layer. That's fine, and then we just get the text, press on the T, go in the rectangle, and then I'm going to put my name. And we learned how to size up text earlier, so I'm just going to highlight it all, and I'm going to change it to around 8. And oh, I can't see it, but there's another tool, another technique thing we learned earlier. Just change the colour, go to that nice grey again. It was E5, E5, E5. Boom. Just so everything is sort of like the same within this thumbnail. And I'm just going to fit it into that box, and that is probably a bit big, so I'm going to select both layers, press shine, then hold Control and press the rectangle layer. I'm going to hold Control T, and that will select it both, and I'm just going to hold Shift while I size this down. And this just makes your thumbnails your own. Like, if people don't recognise the thumbnail because you're doing a new style and they just see your name, they know it's your video. So that's a good technique that you can do. And we're going to add the same bevel and emboss that we did on the original text. So we had it on, I think we had it on like 20 or 18, I think it was, but that looks fine. 18 looks very good for this text, this kind of text. And I don't think we want a stroke, but we might change the rectangle in the background. So we're going to double click on the edge of the layer to bring up blending options and go to gradient overlay. Right, so now it's saved our previous gradient and it looks pretty good already, but I might just to linear, and I'm going to change the angle to 90, which means it goes up or down. So I'm going to press reverse so it's unticked, so the black's at the bottom, and I think that looks fine. Honestly, this is what you need for a basic thumbnail. Obviously I probably wouldn't have this picture before, but I hadn't searched up any. I just did this along with you guys, and you'll have loads more time to think of a better picture than this. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of how to make a simple but nice thumbnail, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash a like and a comment, and if you want more, make sure to leave like suggestions of what tutorials I can do in the future. But make sure to subscribe to join Shy Nation. I'm out. Peace.